Okay, welcome everyone to our performance of Two Gentlemen of Verona. Act 1, Scene 1 finds us in the town of Verona, an open place. Enter Valentine and Proteus.
Oh, sorry. Am I Valentine?
Yes,
Pardon
you're American.
Me. Pardon me. I'm American. Well, let me say this. If you cease to persuade my loving Proteus, homekeeping youth have ever homely wits. Were it not affection chains thy tender days to the sweet glances of the honored love, I rather would entreat the company to see the wonders of the world abroad than living dully sluggardized at home. Wear out thy youth with shapeless idleness, but since thou lovest, love still and thrive therein, even as I would when I to love begin.
Wilt thou be gone? Sweet Valentine, adieu. Think on thy Proteus when thou haply seest some rare, noteworthy object in thy travel. Wish me partaker in thy happiness when thou dost meet good hap, and in thy danger, if ever danger do environ thee, for I will be thy beadsman, Valentine.
And on love book pray for my success?
Upon some book I love, and I'll pray for thee.
That's on some shallow story of deep love, how young Leander crossed the Hellespont.
That's a deep story of a deeper love, for he was more than over shoes in love.
'Tis true, for you are over boots in love, and yet you never swum the Hellespont.
Over the boots? Nay, give me not the boots.
No, I will not, for it's boots thee not.
What?
To be in love, where scorn is brought with groans, coy looks with heart-sore sighs, one fading moment's mirth with 20 watchful, weary, tedious nights. If haply won, perhaps a hapless gain. If lost, why then a grievous labor won? However, but a folly brought with wit, or else a wit by folly vanquished.
So, by your circumstance, you call me a fool?
So by your circumstance, I fear you'll prove.
'Tis love you cavil at, I am not love.
Love is your master, for he masters you. And he that is so yoked by a fool, methinks should not be chronicled for wise.
Yet writers say, as in the sweetest bud, the eater canker dwells, and so, eating love, inhabits in the finest wits of all.
And writers say, as the most forward bud is eaten by the canker ere it blow, even so by love the young and tender wit is turned to folly, blasting in the bud, losing his verdure even in the prime, and all the fair effects of future hopes. But wherefore waste I time to counsel thee, that art a forgery to fond desire? Once more adieu. My father at the road expects my coming, there to see me shipped.
And thither will I bring thee, Valentine.
Sweet Proteus, no! Now let us take our leave. To Milan let me hear from thee by letter of thy success in love, and what news else betides here in absence of thy friend, and likewise will visit thee with mine.
All happiness be chance to thee in Milan.
As much to you at home, and so farewell.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosized me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, sick heart with thought.
Heart sick.
Heart sick
What?
with thought.
Mr. Lawrence, could you take the little dog somewhere? He's being very crabby
I
tonight.
would love to take Crab somewhere else, but he seems to be in another room.
He's
Well,
outside my door, and I can't do
Oh.
anything about it.
you can turn off your mic when you're not speaking.
Yeah.
I'm off. Goodbye.
Oh, wait a minute. You got a
Have you
speech.
no slingshot?
Yeah.
Really, I would
No, that
have.
would be cruel. Just kidding.
I'm amazed that it's you. Sir Proteus, save you. Saw you, my master?
But now he parted thence to embark for Milan.
But 20-1, then he is shipped already. I have played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, a sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd then, and I am a sheep?
I
Do
do.
you?
You're a sheep.
Do you conclude that?
You're a sheep. I do.
Oh, why then my horns are his horns, whether I wake or sleep.
A silly answer, and fitting well a sheep.
This proves me still a sheep.
True, and thy master a shepherd.
Oh, nigh I can deny by a circumstance.
It shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, not the sheep the shepherd. But I seek my master, and my master seeks not me. Therefore, I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd. The shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy master. Thy master for wages follows not thee. Therefore thou art a sheep.
Such other proof will make me cry.
What, dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
I, sir, I, a lost mutton, gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me a lost mutton's nothing for my labor.
Here's too small a pasture for such a store of muttons.
If the ground be overcharged, you be sticks here.
Nay, in that you are astray, 'twere best pound you.
Oh, nay, sir, less than a pound will serve me in carrying your letter.
You mistake. I mean the pound, a pinfold.
From a pound to a pin, fold it over and over, 'tis 3 folds little for carrying a letter to your lover.
But what said she?
I?
Nod I? Why, that's naughty.
Oh, you mistake, sir. I say she did nod, and you say to me that if she did nod, and I said I.
And that set together is naughty.
Now you have taken the pains to set it together. Take it for your pains.
No, no, you shall have it for bearing the letter.
Well, I perceive that I have been fain to bear with you.
Why, sir, how do you bear with me?
Marry, sir, the letter, very orderly, hath nothing but the word naughty for my pains.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse, and that the money and the matter may both be once delivered.
Well, sir, here's for your pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll find it hardly win her.
Why, couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, if I could perceive nothing at all from her, well, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter, and being so hard to me that brought your mind, I fear she'll prove as hard to you to telling your mind. Give her no token but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing?
No, not as much as take this for thy pains and testify your bounty. I thank you. You have detested me in requital thereof, and henceforth carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll command you to my lesser.
Go, go, be gone, to save your ship from wreck, which cannot perish having thee aboard, being destined to a drier death on shore. I must go send some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post.
Scene 2, this same Garden of Julia's house. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. Scene 2 is the same Garden of Julia's house. Enter Julia and Lucetta.
Say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Aye, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parley encounter me, in thy opinion, which is worthiest love?
Please you, repeat their names, and I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thou think? What thinkest thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
As of a knight, well spoken, neat, and fine, but were I you, he never should be mine.
What thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well of his wealth, but of himself, so.
What thinkest thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body that I am, should insure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus as of all the rest?
Then thus of many good I think him best.
Your reason?
I have no other reason but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why he, of all the rest, he hath never moved me.
Yet he of all the rest I think best loves thee.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
Oh, they love least that let men know their love.
Oh, I would I knew his mind.
Peruse this paper, madam.
To Julia, say from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say, who gave it thee?
Sir Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker. Dare you presume to harbor wanton lies, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now, trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love deserves more fee than hate.
Will you be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I would had overlooked the letter, but were ashamed to call her back again, and pray her to a fault for which I chid her. What a fool is she that knows I am a maid and would not force the letter to my view, since maids in modesty say no to that which they would have the proffer construe. Fie, how wayward is this foolish love that like a testy babe will scratch the nurse and presently all humbled kiss the rod. How churlishly I chid Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back, and ask remission for my folly past. What ho, Lucetta?
What would your ladyship?
Is it near dinner time?
I would it were, that you might kill your stomach on your meat and not upon your maid.
What is it that you took up so gingerly?
Nothing.
Why didst thou stoop then?
To take up a paper that I let fall.
And is that paper nothing?
Nothing concerning me.
Then let it lie for those that it concerns.
Madam, I will not lie. It will not lie where it concerns, unless it have a false interpreter.
Some love of yours hath writ to you in rhyme.
That I might sing it, madam, to a tune, give me a note, your ladyship consent.
A little by such toys as may be possible. Just sing it to the tune of Light of Love.
It is too heavy for so light a tune.
Heavy? Belike it has some burden then.
Aye, and melodious were it. Would you sing it?
And why not you?
I cannot reach so high.
Let's see your song. How now, minion?
Keep tune there still, so you will sing it out, and yet methinks I do not like this tune.
You do not?
No, madam, 'tis too sharp.
You, minion, are too saucy.
Nay, now you are too flat, and mar the concord with too harsh a decant. There wanteth but a mean to fill your song.
The mean is found with your unruly bass.
Indeed, I bid the bass for Proteus.
Bauble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil with processed cases. So go get you gone and let the papers lie. You will be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she would be best pleased to be so angered with another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. Oh, hateful hands. To tear such loving words. Injurious wasps to feed on such sweet honey and kill the bees that yield it with your straight things. I'll kiss each several paper for amends. Look here is writ. Kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in the revenge of thy ingratitude, I throw thy names against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. Ooh, and here it is writ, love wounded Proteus. Oh, poor wounded name. My bosom is a bed. Shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed. And thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. But twice or thrice was Proteus written down. Be calm, good wind. Blow not a word away till I've found each letter in the letter, except mine own name. Some whirlwind there unto a ragged, fearful hanging rock and throw it thence into the raging sea. Oh, lo, here's one line and his name twice writ. Poor, forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia, that I'll tear away, and yet I will not. So prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus I will fold them one on another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Madam, dinner is ready, and your father stays.
Oh, well, let us go.
What? Shall these papers lie like telltales here?
Yeah, if you respect them, best to take them up.
Nay, I was taken up for laying them down. Yet here they shall not lie for catching cold.
I see you have a month's mind to them.
Aye, madam, you may say what sights you see. I see things too. Although you judge, I wink.
Come. Would you please you go?
Scene 3, the same. Antonio's house. Enter Antonio and Pantino. Do we have an Antonio?
think it's
Is there
Richard.
an Antonio?
Richard, all right. Tell me, Panthino, what sad talk was that wherewith my brother held you in the cloister?
'Twas,
I'm sorry.
go,
I
yeah,
thought I was
you're
Pantino.
right. You're right. Go. My bad.
Okay. So it's of his nephew Proteus, your son.
Why, what of him?
And he wondered that your lordship would suffer him to spend his youth at home while other men of slender reputation put forth their sons to seek preferment out, some to the wars to try their fortune there, some to discover islands far away, some to the studious universities for any and for all these exercises. He said that Proteus, your son, was meet and did request me to importune you to let him spend his time no more at home, which would be great impeachment to his age and having known no travel in his youth.
Nor needest thou much importune me to that, whereon this month I have been hammering. I have considered well his loss of time and how he cannot be a perfect man, not being tried and tutored in the world. Experience is by industry achieved and perfected by the swift course of time. Then tell me, whither were I best to send him?
Well, I think your lordship is not ignorant how his companion, youthful Valentine, tends the emperor in his royal court.
I know it well.
'Twere good, I think, your lordship sent him thither. There shall he practice tilts and tournaments, hear sweet discourse, converse with noblemen, and be an eye of every exercise worthy his youth and nobleness of birth.
I like thy counsel. Well hast thou advised. And that thou mayest perceive how well I like it, the execution of it shall make known. Even with the speediest expedition, I will dispatch him to the emperor's court.
Tomorrow may it please you, Don Alfonso, with other gentlemen of good esteem, are journeying to salute the emperor and to commend their service to his will.
Good company. With them shall Proteus go, and in good time. Now we will break with him.
Sweet love, sweet lines, sweet life. Here is her hand, the agent of her heart. Here is her oath for love, her honor's pawn. Oh, that our fathers would applaud our loves, to seal our happiness with their consents. Oh, heavenly Julia.
How now? What letters are you reading there?
May it please your lordship, 'tis a word or two of commendation sent from Valentine, delivered by a friend that came from him.
Lend me the letter. Let me see what news.
There is no news, my lord, that he writes, how happily he lives, how well beloved and daily graced by the emperor, wishing me with him partner of his fortune.
And how stand you affected to his wish?
As one relying on your lordship's will, and not depending on his friendly wish.
You know, my will is something sorted with his wish. Muse not that I thus suddenly proceed. For what I will, and there an end. I am resolved that thou shalt spend some time with Valentinus in the emperor's court. What maintenance he from his friend receives, like exhibition thou shalt not have from me. Tomorrow, be in readiness to go. Excuse it not, for I am peremptory.
My lord, I cannot be so soon provided. Please you, deliberate a day or two.
Look, what thou wantest shall be sent after thee. No more stay. Tomorrow thou must go. Come on, Panthino, you shall be employed to hasten on his expedition.
Thus I have shunned the fire for fear of burning, and drenched me in the sea where I am drowned. I fear to show my father Julia's letter, lest he should take exception to my love, and with the vantage of mine own excuse hath he expected most against my love. Oh, how this spring of love resembleth the uncertain glory of an April day, which now shows all the beauty of the sun, and by a cloud takes it all away.
So Proteus, your father calls for you. He's in haste, therefore I pray you to go.
Proteus?
Proteus? Keith?
Why it is, my heart accords unto hither. Why this it is, my heart accords thereto, and yet 1,000 times it answers no.
Yay.
Act 2, Scene 1, Milan, the Duke's Palace. Enter Valentine and Speed.
Sir, your glove!
Not mine, my gloves are on.
Why, then this must be maybe yours, for this is but one.
Ha! Let me see. Give it me, it's mine. Sweet ornaments that decks a thing divine. Ah, Sylvia, Sylvia.
Ah, Madam Sylvia! Madam Sylvia!
How now, sirrah?
Well, she's not within hearing, sir.
Why, sir, who bade you call her?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, is she that your worship loves?
No. Your worship, sir.
Oh, back. Your worship, sir, or else I mistook.
Well, you'll still be too forward.
And yet I was last chidden for being too slow.
Go to, sir. Tell me, do you know Madam Sylvia?
She that your worship loves.
Why, how know you that I am in love?
Mary, by those special marks. First, you have learned, as like Sir Proteus, to wreathe your arms like a malcontent, to relish a love song like a robin redbreast, to walk alone like one that had the pestilence, to sigh like a schoolboy that had lost his ABC, to weep like a young wench that had buried her granddad, to fast like one that takes to diet, to watch like one that fears robbing, to speak puling like a beggar in hollow mass. You were wont, when you laughed, to crow like a cock, and when you walked, to walk like one of the lions. When you fasted, it was presently after dinner, and when you looked sadly, it was for want of money. And now you are metamorphosed with a mistress, that when I look on you, I can hardly speak you, you're my master.
Ha! Are all these things perceived in me?
Oh, they are all perceived without you.
Without me, they cannot.
Without you, you say, nay, that's for certain. For without you, were so simple, no one else would. And but you are, so that with these follies are within you and shine through you like the water in a urinal.
Aye.
And not an eye that sees you, but a physician to comment on your malady.
But tell me, dost thou know my lady Sylvia?
She that to gaze on you, she sits at supper.
Hast thou observed that? Even she, I mean?
Why, sir, I know her not.
Dost thou know her by my gazing on her, and yet knowest her not?
Is she not hard favored, sir?
Not so fair, boys, as well favored.
Sir, I know that well enough.
What dost thou know?
That she is not so fair as of you well favored.
I mean that her beauty is exquisite, but her favor infinite.
That's because the one is painted and the other out of all count.
How painted and how out of count.
Marry, sir, so painted to make her fair, and that no man counts of her beauty.
How esteemest thou me? I account of her beauty.
You never saw her since she was deformed.
How long hath she been deformed?
Ever since you loved her.
I have loved her ever since I saw her, and still I see her beautiful.
If you love her, you cannot see her.
Why?
Because love is blind. Love is blind.
Oh, there it is.
You had mine eyes, or your own eyes had the lights they were wont to have when you chid at Sir Proteus for being unguarded.
Well, what should I see then?
Well, your own folly and your passing deformity. And for he being in love could not see to garter his hose, and you being in love cannot see to put on your hose.
Belike, boy, then you are in love. For last morning you could not see to wipe my shoes.
True, sir. I was in love with my bed. I thank you. You swins to me for my love, and that makes me the bolder to chide thee for yours.
In conclusion, I stand affected to her.
I would you were set, so your affection would cease.
Last night, she enjoined me to write some lines to one she loves.
And have you?
I have.
And are they lamely writ?
No, boy, but as well as I can do them. Peace. Here she comes.
Oh, excellent motion. No exceeding puppet. Now will he interpret to her.
Madam and mistress, 1,000 good morals.
And give ye good even. Here's a million of manners.
Sir Valentine and servant, to you 2,000.
And he should give her interest, and she gives it to him.
As you enjoin me, I have writ your letter unto the secret nameless friend of yours, which I was much unwilling to proceed in, but for my duty to your ladyship.
I thank you, gentle servant. 'Tis very clerkly done.
Now, trust me, madam, it came hardly off, for being ignorant to whom it goes, I writ at random, very doubtfully.
Perchance you think too much of so much pains?
No, madam, so instead you, I will write, please you command 1,000 times as much, and yet.
A pretty period. Well, I guess the sequel, and yet I will not name it. And yet I care not. And yet take this again, and yet I thank you, meaning henceforth to trouble you no more.
And yet you will, and yet another yet.
What means your ladyship? Do you not like it?
Yes. The lines are very quaintly writ, but since unwillingly, take them again. Nay, take them.
Madam, they are for you.
Aye, you writ them, sir, at my request, but I will none of them. They are for you. I would have had them writ more movingly.
Please you, I'll write your ladyship another.
And when it is writ, for my sake, read it over, and if it please you, so. If not, why so?
If it please me, madam, what then?
Why, if it please you, take it for your labor and so good morrow, servant.
Oh, just unseen, inscrutable, and invisible as a nose on a man's face or a weathercock on a steeple. My master sues to her, and she hath taught to her suitor. But he being her pupil, to become her tutor, and so excellent device there was never heard a better, that my master, being a scribe to himself, should write the letter.
Now, sir, what are you reasoning with yourself?
Nay, I was rhyming. 'Tis you that have the reason.
To do what?
To be a spokesman for Madame Sylvia.
To whom?
To yourself. That's why she woos you by a figure.
What figure?
By a letter, I should say.
Why, she hath not writ to me.
What need she when she had you to write yourself? Why do you not perceive the jest?
No, believe me.
No believing you, indeed, sir. But did you perceive her earnest?
She gave me none except an angry word.
Why, she hath given you a letter.
That's the letter I writ to her friend.
And that letter she delivered, and therein.
I would it were no worse.
I warrant you 'tis as well, for often have you writ to her, and she in modesty, for else for want of idle time, could not again reply, or fearing something else, some messenger that might her mind discover, herself hath taught her love himself to write unto her lover. All this I speak in print, for in print I found it, and muse you, sir, 'tis dinner time.
I have dined.
But hearken, sir, though the chameleon love can feed on the air, I am one that am nourished by my victuals, and I would fain have meat, and be not like your mistress. So be moved, be moved.
Scene 2, Verona, Julia's house. Enter Proteus and Julia.
Have patience, gentle Julia.
I must, where is no remedy.
When possible, I will return.
If you turn not, you will return the sooner. Keep this remembrance for thy Julia's sake.
Why then, we'll make exchange. Here, take you this.
And seal the bargain with a holy kiss.
Here is my hand for my true constancy. And when that hour o'erslips me in the day, wherein I sigh not, Julia, for thy sake, the next ensuing hour, some foul mischance torment me for my love's forgetfulness. My father stays my coming. Answer not, the tide is now, nay, not thy tide of tears, that tide will stay me longer than I should. Julia, farewell. What, gone without a word? Aye, so true love should do, it cannot speak, for truth hath better deeds than words to grace it.
Sir Proteus, you're stayed for.
Come, go, I come, alas, this parting strikes poor lovers dumb.
Scene 3, the same, a street. Enter Launce leading a dog.
Nay, truly, however I have done weeping with all the kind and blandishments of this very fault. I have received in my portion like a prodigious son, and I'm going with Sir Proteus to the Imperial's court. I can grab my dog, be the sourest natured dog that lives. My mother weeping, my father wailing, my sister crying, our maid howling, our cat wringing her hands, and all our house in great perplexity. Yet not that this cruel-hearted cur shed one tear. He's a stone, a very pebble stone, and has no more pity in him than a dog. Why, a cat would have wept to have seen our parting. Why, my grandam, having no eyes, look you, wept herself blind at my parting. Nay, I'll show you the manner of it. This shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my father. No, this left shoe is my mother. Nay, that cannot be so neither. Yes, it is so, it is so. It is the worthless soul. And this shoe with the hole in it is my mother, and this is my father. Ah, a vengeance on it. There it is. Now, sir, this staff is my sister. For look you, she's as white as a lily and small as a wand. And this hat is my, yes, and this hat is, where is it? Oh, it's our maid. I am the dog. No, the dog is himself, and I am the dog. Oh, the dog is me, and I am myself. So. Now come I to my father. Father, your blessing? Now should not the shoe speak a word for weeping. Now should I kiss my father. Well, he weeps on. Now come I to my mother. Oh, that she could speak now, like a good woman. Well, I kiss her. Well, there it is. Here's my brother's breath up and down. Now come I to my sister. Mark the moan she makes. Now all the dog all this while sheds not a tear nor speaks a word. But see how I shed the dust with my tears.
Well, it's away, aboard. Thy master is shipped, and thou art post after with oars. What's the matter? Why weepest thou, man? Away, ass, you'll lose the tide if you tarry any longer.
No, it is no matter if the tide were lost, for it is the unkindest tide that man ever tied.
What's the unkindest tide?
Why, he that's tied here, Crab, my dog.
But man, I mean, thou lose the flood, and in losing the flood, lose thy voyage, and in losing thy voyage, lose thy master, and in losing thy master, lose thy service, and in losing thy service, what dost thou stop my mouth?
Oh, for fear thou shouldst lose thy tongue.
Where should I lose my tongue?
In thy tail.
In thy tail.
Lose the tide and the voyage and the master and the service and the tide. Why, man, if the river were dry, I am able to fill it with my tears. If the wind were down, I would dry the boat with my sighs.
Come away, man. I was sent to call thee.
Sir, call me what thou darest.
Wilt thou go?
Well, I will go.
Scene 4, Milan, the Duke's palace. Enter Sylvia Valentine, excuse me, Thurio and Speed.
Servant.
Mistress.
Master, Sir Thurio frowns on you.
Aye, boy, it's for love.
Not of you.
Of my mistress, then?
Toward your good, you are not him.
Servant, you are sad.
Indeed, madam, I seem so.
Seem that you are not?
Happily I do.
So do counterfeits.
So do you.
What seem I that I am not?
Wise.
What instance of the contrary?
Your folly.
And how quote you my folly?
I quoted in your jerkin.
My jerkin is a doublet.
Well, then I'll double your folly.
How?
What angry Sir Thurio? Do you change color?
Give him leave, madam. He is a kind of chameleon.
That hath more mind to feed on your blood than live in your air.
You have said, sir.
Aye, sir, and done too for this time.
I know it well, sir. You always end ere you begin.
A fine volley of words, gentlemen, and quickly shot off.
'Tis indeed, madam. We thank the giver.
Who is that servant?
Yourself, sweet lady, for you gave the fire. Sir Thurio borrows his wit from your ladyship's looks, and spends what he borrows kindly in your company.
Sir, if you spend word for word with me, I shall make your wit bankrupt.
Oh, I know it well. Sir, you have an exchequer of words, and I think no other treasure to give your followers, for it appears by their bare liveries that they live by your bare words.
No more, gentlemen, no more. Here comes my father.
Now, daughter Sylvia, you are hard beset. Sir Valentine, your father's in good health. What say you to a letter from your friends of much good news?
My lord, I will be thankful to any happy messenger from thence.
Know ye Don Antonio, your countryman?
Ay, my good lord, I know the gentleman to be of worth and worthy estimation, and not without desert so well reputed.
Hath he not a son?
Oh, I, my good lord, a son that well deserves the honor and regard of such a father.
You know him well?
Oh, I know him as myself, for from our infancy we have conversed and spent our hours together. And though myself have been an idle truant, omitting the sweet benefit of time to clothe mine age with angel-like perfection, yet hath Sir Proteus, for that's his name, made use and fair advantage of his days. His years but young, but his experience old, his head unmellowed, but his judgment ripe. In a word, for far behind his worth comes all the praises that I now bestow. He is complete in feature and in mind, with all good grace to grace a gentleman.
Beshrew me, sir, but if he make this good, he is as worthy for an empress' love as meet to be an emperor's counselor. Well, sir, this gentleman is come to me with commendation from great potentates, and here he means to spend his time a while. I think there's no unwelcome news to you.
Oh, should I have wished a thing it had been he.
Welcome him then according to his worth. Sylvia, I speak to you, and you, Sir Thurio. For Valentine, I need not cite him to it. I will send him hither to you presently.
This is the gentleman I told your ladyship had come along with me, but that his mistress did hold his eyes locked in her crystal looks.
Belike that now she hath enfranchised them upon some other pawn for fealty.
Nay, sure, I think she holds them prisoners still.
Nay, then he shouldn't be blind, and being blind, how would he see his way to seek out you?
Why, the lady love hath 20 pairs of eyes.
They say that love hath not an eye at all.
To see such lovers, Thurio, as yourself, upon a homely object of love can wink.
Have done, have done. Here comes the gentleman.
Oh, welcome, dear Proteus. Mistress, I beseech you, confirm his welcome with some special favor.
His worth is warrant for his welcome hither. Is this be he of to have wish to hear from?
Mistress, it is. Sweet lady, entertain him to be my fellow servant to your ladyship.
Too low a mistress for so high a servant.
Not so, sweet lady, but too mean a servant to have a look of such a worthy mistress.
Leave off discourse of disability. Sweet lady, entertain him for your servant.
My duty will I boast of, nothing else.
And duty never yet did want his need. Servant, you're welcome to a worthless mistress.
I'll die on him that says so but yourself.
That you're welcome?
that you are worthless.
Madam, my lord, your father would speak with you.
I wait upon his pleasure. Come, Sir Thurio, go with me once more, new servant. Welcome. I will leave you to comfort of home affairs. When you have done, we look to hear from you.
We'll both attend upon your ladyship.
Now tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady, and how thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary out you. I know you joy not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance for contemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me with bitter fasts, with penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-sore sighs. For in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes and made them watchers of mine own heart's sorrow. Oh, gentle Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me, as I confess, there is no woe to his correction, nor to his service no such joy on earth. Now no discourse except it be of love. Now can I break my fast, dine, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough! I read your fortune in your eye. Was this the idol that you worship so?
Even she, and she is not, is and is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Oh, call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her. If not divine, yet let her be a principality, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress.
Ah, sweet, accept not any, except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. She shall be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train, lest the base earth should from her vesture chance to steal a kiss, and of so great a favor growing proud, disdain to root the summer swelling flower, and make rough winter everlastingly.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus, all I can say is nothing. To her whose worth makes other worthies nothing, she is alone.
Then let her alone.
No, not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own. And I as rich in having such a jewel as 20 seas, if all their sand were pearl, the watered nectar and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love, my foolish rival that her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after, for love, thou knowest, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you?
Aye, and we are betrothed, nay, more, our marriage hour, with all the cunning manner of our flight, determined of how I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted and agreed on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber in these affairs to aid me with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth. I must unto the road to disembark. Some necessities that I needs must use, and then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgotten. It is mine, or Valentine's praise, her true perfection, or my false transgression, that makes me reasonless to reason thus. She is fair, and so is Julia, that I love, that I did love, for now my love is thawed, which, like a waxen image against a fire, bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love this lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus without advice begin to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that has dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfections, there is no reason that I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill.
Scene 5, the same, a street. Enter Speed and Long severally.
Lance, by my honesty, welcome to Milan.
Swear not thyself, sweet youth, for I am not welcome. I reckon this always, that a man is never undone until he be hanged, nor never welcome to a place till some certain shot be paid, and then the hostess say, welcome.
Come on, you madcap. I'll to the alehouse with you, and presently for 1 shot of 5 pence, thou shalt have 5,000 welcomes. But, sirrah, how did thy master part with Madam Julia?
Oh, marry, after they closed in earnest, they parted very fairly in jest.
But shall she marry him?
Nope.
How then? Shall he marry her?
Oh, neither.
Oh, what, are they broken?
No, they're both as whole as fish.
Why then, how stands the matter with them?
Well, marry thus. When it stands well with him, it stands well with her.
Oh, what an ass art thou! I understand thee not.
What a blackguard art thou, that thou canst not. My staff understands me.
What sayest thou?
Aye, and what I do too. Look thee, Albert lean, and my staff understands me.
It stands under thee, indeed.
Why stand under and understand is all one.
But tell me true, will it be a match?
Oh, ask my dog. If he say aye, it will. If he say no, it will. If he shake his tail and say nothing, it will.
Then the conclusion is that it will.
Thou shalt never get such a secret from me, but by a parable.
Well, 'tis well that I get it so. But, Lance, how sayest thou that my master is become a notable lover?
Well, I never knew him otherwise.
Well, then how?
A notable lover, as thou reportest him to be.
Why, thou horse and ass, thou mistakest me.
Why, fool, I meant not thee, I meant thy master.
Oh, I tell thee, my master is becoming a hot lover.
Why, I tell thee, I care not, though he burn himself in love. If thou wilt go with me to the alehouse, if not, then thou art a Hebrew Jew, not worth the name of a Christian.
Why?
Because thou hast not so much charity in thee as to go to the ale with a Christian. Wilt thou go?
At thy service.
Right.
Scene 6, the same, the Duke's palace. Enter Proteus.
To leave my Julia, shall I be forsworn? To love fair Sylvia, shall I be forsworn? To wrong my friend, I shall be much forsworn. And even that power which gave me my oath provokes me to this threefold perjury. Love bade me swear, and love bids me forswear. O sweet suggesting love, if thou hast sinned, teach me, thy tempest subject, to excuse it. At first I did adore a twinkling star, but now I worship a celestial sun. Unheedful vows may heedfully be broken, and he wants wit that once resolved will, to learn his wit to exchange the bad for better. Fie, fie, unrevered tongue, to call her bad, whose sovereignty so oft thou hast preferred. With 20,000 soul-confirming oaths, I cannot leave to love, and yet I do. But there I leave to love where I should love. Julia I lose, and Valentine I lose. But if I keep them, I needs must not lose myself. If I lose them, thus find I by their loss for Valentine myself, for Julia, Sylvia. I to myself am dearer than a friend, for love is still most precious in itself, and Sylvia, witness heaven that made her fair, shows Julia but a swarthy Ethiop. I will forget that Julia is alive, remembering that my love to her is dead. And Valentine I'll hold an enemy, aiming at Sylvia as a sweeter friend. I cannot now prove constant to myself without some treachery used to Valentine. This night he meaneth with corded ladder to climb celestial Sylvia's chamber window. Myself in counsel, his competitor. Now presently I'll give her father notice of their disguising and pretended flight, who, all enraged, will banish Valentine. For Thurio, he intends, shall wed his daughter. But Valentine being gone, I'll quickly cross by some sly trick blunt Thurio's dull proceeding. Love, lend me wings to make my purpose swift, as thou hast lent me wit to plot this drift.
Scene 7, Verona, Julia's house. Enter Julia and Lucetta.
Counsel, Lucetta, gentle girl, assist me, and even in kind love I do conjure thee. Who at the table wherein all my thoughts are visibly charactered and engraved, to lesson me and tell me some good mean, how with my honor I may undertake a journey to my loving Proteus.
Alas, the way is wearisome and long.
Ah, true devoted pilgrim is not weary to measure kingdoms with its feeble steps. Much less shall she that hath love's wings to fly. And when the flight is made to one so dear, of such divine perfection as Sir Proteus.
Better forbear till Proteus make return.
Oh, knowest thou not his looks are my soul's food? Pity the dearth that I have pined in by longing for that food for so long a time. Didst thou but know the inly touch of love, thou wouldst as soon go kindle fire with snow as seek to quench the fire of love with words.
I do not seek to quench your love's hot fire, but qualify the fire's extreme rage, lest it should burn above the bounds of reason.
Oh, the more thou damst it up, the more it burns. The current that with gentle murmur glides, thou knowest, being stopped impatiently doth rage. But when his fair course is not hindered, he makes sweet music with the enameled stones. Giving a gentle kiss to every sedge, he overtaketh in his pilgrimage, and so by many winding nooks he strays with willing sport to the wild ocean. Then let me go and hinder not my course. I'll be as patient as a gentle stream and make a pastime of each weary step, till the last step have brought me to my love. And there I'll rest, as after much turmoil, a blessed soul doth in Elysium.
But in what habit will you go along?
Not like a woman, for I would prevent the loose encounters of lascivious men. Gentle Lucetta, fit me with such weeds as may beseem some well-reputed page.
Why then, your ladyship must cut your hair.
No, girl, I'll knit it up in silken strings with 20 odd conceited true love knots. To be fantastic may become a youth of greater time than I shall show to be.
What fashion, madam, shall I make your breeches?
And it fits as well as, tell me, good my lord, what compass will you wear your farthingale? Well, even what fashion thou best likest, Lucetta?
You must needs then have a codpiece, madam.
Out, Lucetta, that would be ill-favored.
A round hose, madam, now's not worth a pin unless you have a codpiece to stick pins on.
Lucetta, as thou lovest me, let me have what thou thinkest meet and is most mannerly. But tell me, wench, how will the world repute me for undertaking so unstaid a journey? I fear me it will make me scandalized.
If you think so, then stay at home and go not.
Nay, then I will not.
Then never dream on infamy, but go. If Proteus likes your journey, when you come, no matter who's displeased when you are gone, I fear me he will scarce be pleased withal.
That is the least, Lucetta, of my fear. 1,000 oaths, an ocean of his tears, and instances of infinite of love warrant me my welcome to my Proteus.
All these are servants to deceitful men.
Base men that use them to so base a fact. But truer stars did govern Proteus's birth. His words are bonds. His oaths are oracles. His love sincere. His thoughts immaculate. His tears pure messengers sent from his heart. His heart as far from fraud as heaven from earth.
Pray heaven he prove so when you come to him.
Now, as thou lovest me, do him not that wrong to bear a hard opinion of his truth. Only deserve my love by loving him. And presently go with me to my chambers, to take a note of what I stand in need of, to furnish me upon my longing journey. All that is mine I leave at thy dispose, my goods, my lands, my reputation. Only in lieu thereof dispatch me hence. Come, answer not, but to it presently. I am impatient of my tarriance.
We are going to take a short intermission, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin Act. Are we all well met? Are we all well met for Act 3? Well, we've got Proteus and the Duke here, so why don't we go for it?
Okay.
Here comes the Duke.